On. Hi guys, welcome to this month's live. I'm just waiting for the messages to pop up so that I can start chatting with you as we usually do every month. So, until someone arrives, I'm going to talk about the books which I finished reading and the one which I'm currently reading, as I usually do. So, the first books which I'm going to talk about are those which I finished reading very recently, and both of them are non-fiction books which I read for non-fiction November. The first one is Out of the Maze by Dr. Spencer Johnson, and it's a very tiny book. Okay, it's not even 100 pages long, and it took less than an hour and a half to finish reading, and it was good. It is the sequel to Who Moved My Cheese by the same author, but this one was published after the death of the author because he wanted to get it out, but he was not able to because he was suffering with cancer then. And after that, his sons and a friend of his put this book together and made it get published. I should say it was quite an easy story to read, and the intention of the story is just as good as the first book was. So I did like this one. And the next one, which I finished, was definitely a challenging read for me mentally because it challenged a lot of things and confronted a lot of thoughts that I had. And it was The Courage to Be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Goka, which is really, really good. And yeah, I did like it, and I think I'll be talking about it in detail in one of my how to say next few videos, or at least in the wrap up. Let's wait and see. But I'd highly recommend everyone to give this a go because it's definitely a book which will confront a lot of thoughts that we have. It did for me, so I am recommending it to you guys. I have started getting messages now. So Harini M says, Hi Sai and everyone. Hi Harini, thank you for joining the live, and let's just wait and see who else is going to. Vishwanathan is saying hello, hello. Nice setup there, thank you. I'm trying something different right here because I used the backlights in the other setting, and I'm just using the same backlight but in a different way right now, just in order to, how to say, provide some kind of variety. And since many of you guys have been asking me to do videos in front of the bookshelves, I think doing lives in front of the bookshelf was like far easier for me to do than the other videos which I usually do. I hope this turns out good because I am liking the way how the setup looks on the screen. You guys tell me how it is and whether it's better or not than it was before. Gurpreet Singh is here. He says hi. Hi Gurpreet. And okay, I'll talk about the book which I'm currently reading then. Let's see whether people are joining by that time. So, the book which I'm currently reading is Loveless by Alice Oseman. I started reading it 4 days back, but I'm not making that much progress in it because it's not even 400 pages long. I think it's not even 400 pages. Yeah, it's just over 400 pages long, and I've just read 50 pages of it. I don't know why I'm not able to read it continuously, even though I know that if I sit down and read it, I can finish it in less than a day's time because it it's easy, okay, and it's Alice Oseman's book, so I'll obviously like it. So far, so good. Let's wait and see how it is going to go. This seems like in a more mature tone than the other books by the author so far. Vishwanathan says, thoughts on how to talk to anyone. I have not read that book yet, but I had plans to finish it by the end of the year, but I'm not sure whether it will be happening or not. I want to read it though. It's just somewhere over here. I don't remember where, but I do have plans to read it, and it's on my TBR. Uh, Rebecca's Bibliotheca is here. Hi, finally made it to your live. Whenever I decide to come to your live, something or the other comes up. So finally, I made it here, and I'm super excited. That's great to know. Thank you so much for joining the live, and it's good that this is the first time you made it to the live. Okay, I think there might have been some things which just jinxed you from reaching the live in the past months. Okay, just you guys can tell me what you're currently reading or ask me anything you want and tell me how this setup is. I did not get more than one message about the setup and whether it looks good or not. How do you annotate? I'm not annotating as much now. I just use highlighters and sometimes I use how to say, those are post tags. I use those alone usually, and yeah, that's what I do basically for annotating, and I don't like spend a ton of time. I know that many people do like doing that, but I'm not that kind of a reader. Still, I do annotate, and that's basically it. It's a very simple thing that I do. Um, Top read of current month. Top read of current month. I don't. I don't even completely remember all the books that I read so far this month. I have to either look up in my journal or I should pull up my Goodreads, both of which I cannot do since I'm sitting up right here. So far, so far, so far, I can say The Courage to Be Disliked was very challenging for me to read, and I think it has like elevated me a little bit in terms of non-fiction reading because I was able to, how to say, deal with the fact that it was confronting a lot of my thoughts. At the same time, I was also able to understand the approach of the author to, how to say, explain some things that they tried to explain. So that was good. Harini M asks, what do you think of Crooked Kingdom series? I started a few days back, but it's quite tough for me. What are your views on it? I don't know anything about the Crooked Kingdom series because I have not heard anything about it. If you're talking about Six of Crows, I've talked about it many, many times before. So I think you can catch up with my past videos, but I've not heard anything about a series called Crooked Kingdom. So you can let me know what it is about so that I can look it up later if I'm interested, and also the others. Rebecca's bibliothèque says, I'm currently reading Clapper New Land. So far, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's a really good book. I read it in the December of 2020 and it was really, really good. I think it also ended up being one of my favorite reads of that year. I liked it very much, and it's also a very quick read since it's written in verse. I liked it very much. Harni says setup is great. Thank you so much, Harni. And if you guys have any suggestions or ideas of what I can add for this setup or how we can make it different with the bookshelves in the backdrop, just drop them in the chat so that it will be useful for me, so that I can inculcate all those things later in the successive lives or successive videos which I come up with. Next we have Abhirami S who asks, is Kindle worth buying? I'll say that if you're a person who reads a lot, okay, I'm not just saying reading ebooks a lot. If you're a person who likes reading a lot and if you read a lot of books, then it is worth buying and reading. Sorry, buying a Kindle and reading from it, because if you're just going to read one or two books per month and if you're going to buy a Kindle for that, I don't think it's how to say, it's worth the money, because you're just reading a lot less, and I think buying physical books is far cheaper compared to buying a Kindle if you're reading less. So if you're going to read a lot, then go for a Kindle. Otherwise, I'd say don't. Aaron Anthony is here. He says, hey, did you read You've Reached Sam? Okay, I was actually just thinking about reading that book today or tomorrow, just before sitting for this live, and I've not read it yet, but I think I will, because it is also pretty short. I'll be able to finish it really soon if I sit down and read it. That's the only problem which I'm facing for the past 2 months, okay? Even though the books are short, uh, when I pick them up and start reading, I'm not able to continue reading them. Something comes up, and I've also been working from office for the past 2 months, and that's a bit confusing for me, because I've been used to working from home for the past 3 years nearly, and yeah, that's a bit challenging. I'll try to get to You Reach Sam by the end of the year, or if I can do it by the end of this month. Because bibliothèque says, yeah, actually, I'm reading it for your book bingo prompt. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Do let me know if you completed the bingo or your progress with the bingo. Okay. And Anthony says, the book is the book hyped. I'm not sure. I have not read it yet, right? So I cannot say. Gurpreet Singh asks, do you like podcasts? If yes, then which one is your favorite and why? I do like podcasts, but I don't listen to so many of them, because I like taking like small chunks from different kinds of media and consuming them, because there's very limited time and I have to make the best of it. Uh, I should also say that for the past 1 or 2 months, I've not been listening to podcasts. Also, even the one podcast which I regularly listen to, which is Let's Talk About Mental Health, I've not been listening to it. It's a podcast from an Australian booktube, I'm saying, Australian podcaster named Jeremy Godwin, and I like his podcast very much. It is Let's Talk About Mental Health, and apart from that, there is this one podcast by Jay Shetty, which is also real good. So yeah, these two are the things which I regularly listen to. But in these past 2 months, I've not even listened to even one single episode of any podcast. So that's that. And Anthony says, please post a video after reading it soon, please. I'll try to. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to do a dedicated review or not, because I'm not doing as many, how to say, single book reviews lately. But of course, if I finish reading it, it'll be there in the wrap up. You can look forward to it. I'll try to read it at least for this reason, okay? Because I know that if I sit down and start reading that book, I'll be able to finish it really soon. Still, I'm not able to push myself to do it, because if I'm just compelling myself to read, even though the book is good, even if the book is good, I'll not be able to enjoy it. That's the reason. And I also acquired like so many books, and there are also a few more coming in the next week or so. They are not books I buy, but because of some reasons, because of various reasons, I am getting them. So yeah, I'm going to try and get to them as soon as I can. Okay, especially you reach them because I know it's also been on my shelf for the past 4 to 5 months. I think I don't know properly, but I want to read it soon. Plus, it's very short. Because Bibliothèque says, I didn't want to repeat same books for different prompts. I wanted to read 25 different books. So now I'm left with 8 more books on prompts, including Clapping in Hand. That's great to know. I'm very glad that you chose to not repeat any book for any of the prompts, because I think that will make you read more. It will push your boundaries and also, how to say, discover some things which you haven't read so far or tried so far. That's the main reason I pushed myself to do the bingo also. I finished the bingo in July itself, and I've not posted the video for it yet because I've not filmed it. But I'll try to do that also, okay? Because I should do that because I made the bingo, right? So I must talk about all the books which I read for it, and I think it will happen. Let's wait and see. Gurpreet Singh says, okay, must listen to Ranveer Allahabadia's podcast. He is amazing. What is the podcast about? If you say, if you can tell what it is about, I'll try to, how to say, look it up somewhere. Avirami S says, how do you decide to pick up your next read? I don't have a specific answer for this because whatever I feel like reading next, I just go for it. It's mostly based on the mood. Okay, I'm not a completely mood-driven reader. Still, mm, my next read is always based on what I feel like reading. That's it. I just look at my bookshelf, and whichever book I feel like reading, I just pick it up from the shelf and start reading. That's it. And sometimes I just want to binge some series or binge some authors continuously, like I'm doing with Alice Oseman's books right now. Technically speaking, I've not only finished Loveless, and if I finished this one, I would have finished all the 10 books by the author. But for the sake of the video, which I said that I'll be doing pretty soon, I have to finish Loveless, the 2 Heartstopper novellas, and all the 4 volumes of Heartstopper again. I have to reread all those things. I'm sure that I'll be able to finish them soon because they are like such a delight to read, and they are also graphic novels, so it'll be easier for me to read. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I've not heard what anyone else is reading except Rebecca, I think. Rebecca's Bibliothèque, I think, because no one else said what they're currently reading. Okay. It's completely silent all of a sudden. I don't know why. You can even talk about any movies or shows that you watched recently, because in the past 2 months, I should say, I have been dipping my toes into certain movies and shows because I'm not that much in a mood to read, so I want to do something in order to relax myself. Uh, I'll talk about some shows which I've started watching. Okay, I've been enjoying Big Boss Tamil season 6. It is really good. Okay, the past season sucked, the last season sucked. So this season is really good. Apart from that, I'm also reading. Sorry, I'm also watching Schitt's Creek on Netflix. It's a Canadian sitcom and it's really good. I'm watching it with my brother, and both of us are liking it. It's a very different style of sitcoms which I've not watched before, because all sitcoms that I watched so far are either American or British, and they itself are different in their tone from each other, because American ones are so on your face, but Canadian just seems like very mellow and subtle, and it's nice. It's just nice. So I am liking that tone. So if you have any such suggestions for me to watch as a series, especially on Netflix, you can recommend me, because I know that there are like so many options on Netflix, and I'm always searching for something to watch good there. And I also started watching the first season of Lucifer. I'm like 9 to 10 uh, episodes into the first season, and I'm completely loving it. I'm just completely loving Lucifer. Harini M says, I'm just asking about Six of Crows and Cookie Kingdom just below your Heartstopper series. Yeah, that's really good. You should go for it. If you don't feel like reading it, I don't know why, because I think those 2 books are just extremely amazing. Harini M says, any picks on Tamil novels after Ponniyin Selvan? After Ponniyin Selvan, I have not picked up anything so far, but I have plans to finish reading Sivagami and Sabadam by the end of this year. I know that if I start reading the series, I'll be able to finish it quick, but I also have this idea that just like I did for Ponniyin Selvan, I want to do at least Tamil summaries for Sivagami and Sabadam, because I know that after reading that, many people go for, after reading Ponniyin Selvan, many people go for Sivagami and Sabadam, because I've seen my friends who have done so. My mother has also read Ponniyin Selvan first, and after that Sivagami Sabatham. And the books are also short, so I'll probably read them. It's just that I have this idea that I need to make these videos, and I want to make the videos properly. I can read in any mood, but I cannot film videos in any mood, because if I'm not in a good mood, the video will not turn out good, and I don't want that to be there, because I know that many people will be watching them, and I want to put out only the best I can, not some random thing that I can do. Avirami Estes, I'm currently reading Ponniyin Selvan Part 3. That's great. Part 3. Part 3 starts out in a really rocky space because of the things that happen in part 2. And after that, I should say books 3 and 4 are like most of the political build-up, and book 5 is like somewhere else. So yeah, I think you will be enjoying it. Abhirami S, are you reading it in Tamil or any other translated version? I'd just like to know. I'm just going to have a sip of water. Rebecca's Bibliothexis. I had read all the volumes of Heartstopper, so I finally bought all the 4 books yesterday in a book sale in my university. I got each for 200 rupees, and I believe that is a steal. It's definitely a steal deal, okay? Because each and everything which I bought is like so much more in price. I think I bought the first volume for over 500 rupees. The fourth volume was 700 rupees. The second and third were like 350 rupees each. 300, 350 rupees each. So 200 volume for each 200 rupees for each volume. That's definitely a steal deal, okay? And I'm glad that you bought it, because I know that's a series which you can always go back and read, and it'll make you feel good. Basically it's romance, but it has so much more to it than just the romance. The best thing I can compare Heartstopper to is Sex Education on Netflix, because everyone thinks that Sex Education on Netflix is about sex, but it's just not that. It's like about so many other things, and the way that it tries to make you feel good, it's just awesome. And I think Heartstopper has that same quality to it. Okay. Abhirami is just reading it as Tamil books. That's great to know. I'm sure that if you're reading it in Tamil, you'll be enjoying it more, because the writing of Kalki is beautiful. Okay, it's powerful and beautiful at the same time, and there are some words that he uses in order to describe things, and I'm like, I always just get into the world because of his words, because they are like super powerful, and I don't know, they are just beautiful always. His writing is extremely awesome. Okay, just 20 minutes into a live, still there are not that many people who have turned up. There are like 5 to 10 people, I think, who have been sending messages, and it's good. Let's just wait and see if any other people are joining or not. My plan to read after Loveless is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri, and since Anne Antony asked right now, and I was also thinking about it, you've reached Sam, because both of them are short books, and I am like very confident that I will like The Namesake, because I enjoyed Interpreter of Melodies last month, and because of that, I want to definitely read The Namesake, because it's also the most popular book by the author. And you've reached Sam because of the reasons which I talked about before. Um, Rebecca's Bibliothexis. Yep, those books really warm and make your heart. Truly, truly, definitely. I've been trying to make my friends also read it, because I'm sure, okay, everyone needs to read Heartstopper, because it is such a therapeutic thing to read rather than anything. So that's a great way. I think I can do that, right? Because I'm not feeling that much in the mood to read right now. So if I go back and reread Heartstopper, I think it can put me in the mood to read, because I read it in the beginning of the year in January, and I just binged through all the 4 volumes. I was not even having the books. Okay, I was reading them on the Webtoon app, and even with that, I finished the entire series in like 4 or 5 days. Okay, I just used to read them before going to bed, and I don't know, out of nowhere, I just finished all the 4 volumes that are out so far, and I've not even started reading the first volume yet as physical copies. I think I should do that. I think I should do that. How I'm going to read them for the book, sorry, for the video. So why not do it now? Okay, I'm just going to turn on the AC, because it's getting warm in here. Okay. Anyone has any plans for the weekend or anything? Because seriously, it's very quiet over here today. Uh, let's just wait and see for the next 10 minutes. And if there are not like more people including, we'll try to wrap up the live soon because you know there doesn't seem to be that many people how to say to contribute for the chat. What kind of videos would you guys like to watch on the channel? As the days pass, you can tell me that also because I think that will be good. So, okay. It doesn't seem like I'm getting any new messages, so let's wait and see for 10 minutes. And if it's not happening even then, I'll definitely end the live because there aren't as many people. Okay. How's November going for you guys? Apart from reading alone. Rebecca's Bibliothèque says, is there any favorite song of yours that you have recently heard? Okay, I usually listen to only Tamil songs because I don't. They just connect with me more because it's my language, and I've been so much hooked with the Ponniyin Selvan album ever since it was released in the beginning of September. It's been more than 2 months now, and I have not stopped listening to those songs in these past 2 months. I think I've listened to at least one of the songs from the movies, from that movie, at least once each and every day, at least one song per day, and I think that's good. At least one song every day, not per day. At least one song every day. So that's probably my most favorite album in the recent times because I was so much invested in the books and in my channel because of the books, and after that watching the movie like multiple times, and now here. So yeah, that's probably the music album which I've been very much shown an affinity towards in the past 2 to 3 months. Actually, I can say even from the beginning of August itself because they started releasing singles then, and after that only they released the entire album. We got two singles in July and August, and ever since the first single came itself, I have been hooked to the album because I have listened to all the songs on repeat either once, at least once. Why am I blabbering some stupid things? Okay. Do you guys have any movie suggestions or series suggestions that I can watch on any OTT platform? Because I do have subscription for a few of them because of some plans, so I can make use of it if you have any recommendations. And I think it's better if you can tell me movies, English movies in specific, because I know there are many people from different languages who watch my channel, and I don't know as many languages. I can understand like 50 to 70% of Malayalam and understand that really like well. Apart from that, English is always the option. If you have any recommendations or suggestions, you can definitely let me know down in the chat. Rebecca's Bibliothèque says, I really want to watch a Shadowhunter video. It's been a long time since you have posted a video related to the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I don't know, okay? I don't know how this is happening today. I even for this question, I actually thought about this today in the morning, and I was thinking that it's been so long since I did a Shadowhunter video because I don't think I have made a Shadowhunter video this year at all. So it's been at least 10.5 months since I talked about the Shadowhunter books on the channel, and I definitely want to make a specific. I want to make multiple Shadowhunter related videos on the channel back again, and I think it will be happening pretty soon because by the end of Jan we are going to get the last book inside the Last Star series, and there are also multiple other books inside the series itself which are yet to be published. So yeah, I think you can expect some Shadowhunter videos in the next months or so. Let's wait and see. I'm planning to reread at least the Infernal Devices as well as Last Stars before Chain of Thorns comes out, so that my memory of the series is fresh. I remember Mortal Instruments like super well because I have read those books at least 2 times, and I love those characters so much. Infernal Devices, I remember the basic plot, and I like the dynamic between the characters, but The entire thing I don't remember as such. And apart from that, yeah, Dark Artifices was great while I read it, but they are huge chunky books, right? And I have made discussion videos also, so I can go back and watch them. But I don't remember like most of the Dark Artifices because I don't, I don't, I read all those three books slowly, only one book per month. Still, sorry, not one book per month. I read three books in 2 months. So yeah, I think that's the reason. Still, I do remember the basic plot and the basic things that happened there, but if you ask me trivia related questions for Dark Artifices, I don't think I'll be able to answer. But if you ask me for Mortal Instruments and Infernal Devices, Mortal Instruments I definitely can answer, but Infernal Devices I can try. Dark Artifices I don't think I'll be able to. So for that reason, in order to read and enjoy Chain of Thorns completely, I'm planning to reread Infernal Devices as well as Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron. That was a very long answer for such a short question. Still, we'll be looking forward to that video. Okay. I'll try to make it soon, okay? Because I don't know, I'm just in kind of a very slumpy mood to make any video that is fun. It's been at least 2 weeks since I filmed anything, and everything that you're watching right now are those which I filmed at least 3 to 4 weeks back and edited. And after that, I have not filmed anything at all. I don't know why. I'm just um, not in the perfect right mood to do it because no. Abhiram asks your thoughts on Ponniyin Selvan 1 movie. I liked it, okay? I know that there are people who like it as well as don't like it, and there are people who expected something different and watched the movie and did not like it. So I think it's the people's mistake who thought of a different thing and then watched Ponniyin Selvan because it's not a commercial thing. It's a very classy, politically driven, character driven story. In that way, I think they brought out the essence of the series beautifully in the movie, and the casting and the acting was excellent. Um, I think how to say the way in which they translated certain things from the book and put it into the movie were changed here and there, and they also missed some like really huge chunks of the book. Nearly 100 pages of the beginning of book 2 was completely omitted in the second half of Ponniyin Selvan Part 1, and I think those first 100 pages are like super crucial to show us one character who is like extremely important and such an amazing one. Still, I did like the movie because it is very difficult to say that say that book series, okay, of 5 books in 2 movies, and I'm like super how to say anxious and nervous of how they are going to do it in part 2 because in part 1 they've how to say shown only books 1 and 2, so they have 3, 4, and 5 left to show in part 2, and they also gave a good twist at the end of part 1, which I think will keep many people guessing and theorizing stuff if they have not read the books. So yeah, I liked the movie. Vikas Bibliothek says, I'm planning to start reading Lady Midnight after I finish CWYL, okay, Clapping Land for the Tomb Prompt. Okay, that's nice. Lady Midnight is good. Okay, it's I can say that of all the Shadowhunter series, Lady Midnight has the strongest first book inside the series. Okay, City of Bones is definitely not the strongest first book. I'm sure that anyone who starts with reading City of Bones, even though it's the best place to start with, will get bored with it because that's the first book by the author. It's not. It's definitely not her best. And Clockwork Angel is good, but not as good as Lady Midnight. Chain of Gold was okay, but she like put in so many characters. 15 main characters is like way too much for a 600-page long book, and it's not like everyone is that completely necessarily invested inside the main plot. So I think she missed it with that. But when it comes to Dark Artifices, trust me, Lady Midnight is extremely brilliant. Okay, it is like super well written, and she tells you everything that you need to know in the beginning to understand the series properly. So yeah, Lady Midnight is definitely the best first book inside the series by Cassandra Clare so far, and I think when the Wicked Powers comes out, the first book inside that series can surpass Lady Midnight. But if it doesn't, I think Lady Midnight is definitely the best first book in any series that Cassie has written so far. I'm giving such long answers, aren't I? I'm just running out of breath after finishing each and every answer. And it's funny for me itself to think about it. Okay. Okay. Have you read Persepolis? Read it recently and I really loved it. Persepolis and Heartstopper completely changed my mindset towards graphic novels. I've heard a lot of things about Persepolis. It's also a graphic novel, if I'm not wrong, and it's also pretty short. I want to read it. Let's wait and see if I do it or not because I'm not that much of a person who buys graphic novels and reads them. Even Heartstopper, I bought these physical copies because I just love that series so much after having finished the webtoon version. And yeah, even for manga, I just read. I either borrow them from some friends who own the manga, or I read them online where they are available for free without piracy. For example, like Kindle Unlimited, Prime Reading, and Manga Plus, stuff like that. So yeah, since you said about Persepolis, I'll try to uh, read it pretty soon. Okay, and if I'm not wrong, it's kind of sci-fi or dystopian Persepolis, but I'm not sure. Okay, guys, it doesn't seem like there are so many people talking. There are only two people continuously talking, myself and Rebecca's Bibliothek, to whom I'm super grateful today because without your messages, this chat would not be going on. So yeah, I'll just close the live stream in 5 minutes. So if you have any more messages, questions, or anything else to recommend, you can just drop them in the chat so that I can have a look at them. And after 5 minutes, we'll close the live stream. I'm just a bit disappointed today because I went in and put in a lot of effort today in order to bring a different setup. Still, it's okay. Things happen. Okay. I think there'll be messages which will just get stacked up and come in. Okay, Abhiram says, I was confused while watching PS1 because I'm not a Tamilian. They could have adapted one book per movie. That's not possible because if they adapt one book per movie, you'll get bored because there's not enough stuff in one book to make into a movie without making you feel bored because it's a lot of conversation and grandeur that can be done in the books, but when they're showing you in the movie, they cannot repeat the same stuff again and again in order to put you inside that mood. They just have to show you in one scene. And if you're confused, I'd suggest you to go forward and read some kind of thing, do some little bit of research about the movie, and then watch it again. And I think you'll not be confused because I can understand. Okay, if you don't know anything about the story and if you just went forward and watched the movie, I'm like more than sure that you got confused because there are so many characters. Okay, we have five primary main characters. I'm not saying they are the only main characters. Okay, there are five primary main characters who are on the first level, and below them we have at least 8 to 10 secondary main characters who also cannot be avoided at all at any instant. And then we have the side characters. So basically, there are at least 15 main characters who are given so much time to be developed and made familiar to us in the books, and they have made all those possible in a 2 hour and 45 long minute movie, which I think is a really good thing. But I can understand that you got confused because it's not just because of the fact that you're not a Tamilian. Still, it's a lot of stuff to take in, so I can understand that you are confused. I don't think the language or the culture of Tamil people had anything to do with the how to say confusion with the movie because I know that it is difficult to understand Ponniyin Selvan because you have to be attentive always and you cannot just how to say pay some off for the grandeur and just get lost with it like in some other movies which are such a huge scale that have come out before. This has so much politics. Okay, this has so much character development, plotting, and like so many layers for the characters. So I can understand that it can be difficult to understand, but try to uh, get an understanding of the background of the books and then watch the movie. I'm sure that you'll be able to appreciate what they have done with the movie because I don't think it is possible to make these two books into one movie and make it understandable for an audience. Even if you don't know the story, I think if you are very attentive and notice all the dialogues that the characters are uttering within each between each other, you'll be able to understand the movie. So it's okay. Because bibliothèque says, if I'm starting manga, which one should I read first to start with? Okay, I started reading manga with Shaman King by I don't remember the author's name now. Shaman King. It is okay. It's like 35 volumes long, and all the volumes are available on Prime Reading. I read it from there only, so you can give it a try if you're interested. Hmm. MJ says, okay, I managed to join. Nice new look hairstyle, by the way. Thank you so much. I just put in a knot back there because my hair is not budging to any kind of hairdo right now. I have to tie it up somewhere in order to not, how to say, go crazy in adjusting it. Vikas Bibliothek says Puspolis is an autobiography of Majani Satrapi in a graphic novel format. It's mainly about her life in Iran during Islamic Revolution. There. Okay, that's nice to know. So it's a serious thing. Abhiram says, I'm from Andhra Pradesh. I'm a big fan of Maniratnam and Karthi. Just a little bit disappointed still. PS2, that's my most awaited movie. That's nice to know. And I'd suggest you to go back and rewatch Ponniyin Selvan again because I think even though it might be very confusing in the first time, while you watch it for the first time, if you don't know anything about the story, I think if you rewatch it, I think you'll be able to understand what you can expect in the second part, and there are so many Easter eggs that are just dropped in the first part, which you'll be able to understand and see like, oh, this is why you said it like that from the first movie while you watch the second movie. So yeah, I think you can give it a try. It's definitely a very difficult story to say. Okay, that's why I'm trying to stay by the side of the movie, even though it's just not perfect. It's not a perfect adaptation, but it's definitely a really good adaptation. I don't think anyone else might have been able to how to say. I don't think anyone else could have pulled it off as good as Maniratnam and the crew did. It's difficult, okay? It's very difficult. That's why I'm trying to support them this much. You can even go back and watch my Ponniyin Selvan playlist itself. I have all the summaries for the 5 books in English as well as Tamil, so you can watch it in English and try to get an understanding of the series and what it is about. And then if you go forward and watch the first movie, I think you'll be able to understand it. I don't know, something just tumbled from above and a box should have fallen me, but it did not. And if this had happened during a pre-recorded video, I would have definitely included this one as a spoiler for you guys. So yeah, okay guys, I'm going to close the live right now, and I want to thank you all for joining the live. Okay, if you have any more messages, I'll wait for like 2 to 3 more minutes so you can drop them in, and after that I'll be closing the live. I think this is sign enough that I should close the live today. Okay. I'm glad that I could finally make it here. Thank you so much for joining, and I'm also super glad that you joined here because, just as I said before, without your messages, I don't think this chat could have gone on for this long itself. So, thank you so much for that. No Breeders says hi. Hi, No Breeders. I'm going to close the live. Thank you so much for joining at last. Okay. It doesn't feel like 40 minutes has gone by because I don't feel like I've talked that much today. Still, 40 minutes is going to be over in just like a minute or so. Still, it's wait and see. And also, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. Sorry, it's been so. Yeah, it feels like it has been so long since I did my last live in October. Even though it's just been over a month since I did it last month. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. It's just been a weird couple of months for me. Not bad, but just very different, and that difference is taking a lot of effort from my side to catch up with, in a way. Okay, guys, I think the messages are done for today. I'm going to close the live, and thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you all next month in December for the last live stream for 2022. And until then, read what you like, and don't compare anything of you with anyone else's because it's not worth it. And yeah, happy reading. Have a really good rest of the month and also the rest of the year. Bye bye. Thank you for joining. I'm going to close it now, so don't feel bad if my finger is coming near the camera, okay?